All right. Good morning, everybody. Friendship. That card has been haunting me. All right. Welcome into this morning's reading for the collective. I hope y'all are doing great today. Let's see what's going on for you guys. I'm going to start putting up the April readings. So that's going to start happening today and yesterday. And I also want to say with Pathfinders, thank you for all of the great suggestions about the type of content you'd like for the retreat that we're holding. So just want to seed that with you Pathfinders if you're interested in taking part in a Soulful Revolution retreat. We're going to talk more about that as we get into April. All right, so put a pin in that. Nothing has been made available yet, but the space is limited, so Pathfinders, I'll let you know. All right, let's see where we're going here. I get spiritual cleansing, safe travel, and home. That's just beautiful energy there. So I am picking up right away that some of you are leaving behind other situations. Maybe I've been getting this feeling of moving around or going to a new location or thinking about moving or something like that for a while. And some of you are going to be traveling to a place where you might want to end up living. So if you have any travel set up, I'm definitely seeing that the collective is going to be kind of moving around. Okay, what I mean by that is if you have been in a situation that you now, and I feel like this is going to be happening with Jupiter moving into Gemini in May, where you're going to kind of see what is your truth and what is not your truth. And if you've been trying to bang your head against a wall with somebody or a person and nothing has changed, if you've been trying to deal with an organization or a job or a career path or something, and you've done a million things differently, but it has never changed. It has never grown in the direction you want it to grow in or anything like that. There may be a new direction. Okay. I feel like this is saying that there's a new direction coming up. If you think you've been traveling in a certain direction, there may be spiritual reasons why things may be shifting. So underneath is the Page of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, Seven of Wands, Hermit, and then this Six of Wands of overcoming. Look at that, Three of Wands. So that's kind of processy for the cards underneath. Usually the cards underneath shine a light, a broader light. But this is very much like about a particular way of being in the world. I am seeing Seven of Wands and Seven of Pentacles. Like some of you are resisting some kind of truth in your life. Some of you don't want to see the whole truth because the Hermit here, even though Virgo energy is healing energy, and I've been talking about Jupiter a little bit, and Jupiter is about truth. I feel like I just see that there's been this at times you have gone along with the belief that you have, even if it's flawed, and you have let it flower and grow or tried to let it flower and grow. And maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But then there's this feeling every once in a while that the truth comes in and you get really frustrated and angry about it. Okay. So there's just this wobbly thing back and forth of yeah, you know what I believe is true. Yeah, it is. And look at this. This is the result of it. The Seven of Pentacles, okay, it's given me some of what I want. It's, it's okay. It's not that bad. And then there's other times when you just start going to this, it's not really a rage, but it's a little bit of rage against the machine, a little bit of that, a little bit of putting up some kind of resistance. It's mainly because there's some kind of truth that does want to come in. There's some kind of wisdom about a certain situation, about a certain person. You may be looking at a certain person well, they've just had a bad day, or this is not really who they are, or something like that. But I honestly feel like the message is coming through saying, you know what? This person is not who you think they are. Okay. And I mean that some of you are giving people too much of the benefit of the doubt. Some of you are not really seeing someone very clearly. You're wanting them to be a different person than who they are. And I just feel like that's been leading to a lot of disappointment. Like it goes along for a while, okay. And then when it crops up again, you're like, oh my God, I got to push back on this because, when people have a belief, right? There's just these thoughts that go through your mind. And then because of your experiences, you fill in the gaps with story, and that can create a belief. Like your experiences have shown you that, you know, uh, this is how I believe the world works, or this is who I believe that person to be. And I feel like some of you have resisted really seeing who a person is because that would be kind of devastating to your worldview. Um, that all this time you thought this person had good intentions when really they don't. All this time you thought this person was, just a little cranky and everything like that, but turns out they're a jerk. Just saying. And it turns out they're not a kind person, or they're definitely not the person you thought they were. Okay? However you kind of, especially with maybe Sagittarian energy, the optimism, we're talking about Jupiter, a little bit, I'm kind of getting the edges of Jupiter, that I'll be talking about over the course of this spring, because Jupiter will be moving from Taurus into Gemini. And that is a big shift from an earth sign into an air sign. And I just feel like Jupiter being the ruling planet of Sagittarius, there's something. You've given some people the benefit of the doubt that they do not deserve. You've been kind and optimistic and everything like that, but it keeps coming back up to you. So I'm talking to someone here who keeps being disappointed by somebody, who keeps thinking that, okay, around the next corner, this is going to get better, who keeps chasing that carrot. And I feel like finally you're going to see the reality of the situation. And that's when you can overcome it and move on. It's like you just have to admit to yourself, you know what? I thought this person had my best interest at heart. It turns out they don't. I thought this person was, just being very outspoken and brash because they actually knew something, because they were actually bright. Turns out, not so much. Okay. And, and then they were very disrespectful to how they talk to other people. Like, people who have this certainty about themselves can come off as very self-confident, but I almost feel like this person isn't self-confident. It's more like they're trying to push their beliefs on you. And that's causing, in the past, that has caused some cognitive dissonance that you might have written off as a flaw of you, but actually not. The only flaw I see here is that one of hope. That you hoped this person would be who you think they are. And I'm getting a lot of you, they're not living up to the billing. Okay? So it's a time for you to absorb that wisdom and, move on from a situation. Some of you, this could be a relationship. Some of you, this could be a career path, that it's like, it's not all what I thought it was going to be. And it's like, how much longer are we going to harbor this falsehood or this perception that isn't real or true before we go, you know what? I accept it. And that's something that might be very challenging. The Nine of Swords, especially if it's about a parent or about a best friend or about somebody you trusted or something like that. Like I just feel like the Jupiter moving into Gemini is going to show us some real truth that we might not want to see all the time. So on the other side of it though, Sun. So it's kind of like, well, the realization hurts, but then with that acceptance comes a lot of healing, the Four of Swords here. So death, strength. So 2 Leo cards, Leo, Scorpio, Virgo, and then the 2 of Pentacles, World. Look at all the endings here. And then this 4 of Cups, And then the Ace of Pentacles. So a brand new day with the Sun and the Strength card and the Ace of Pentacles coming. I just feel like this has had this person's had many options, many choices. You've given them many chances, many chances. I feel like you've almost lost count how many times you have given this person the benefit of the doubt, or said that they know not what they do, kind of thing. And how many times have you hurt yourself by saying you're the one who's foolish or stupid? Or how many times have you turned it back around on yourself? And I feel like this is saying, you're not doing that anymore. We're not turning that back around on ourselves. We're saying, okay, the one thing I'm saying about myself is that I don't think I've seen this too clearly, but now I do. Now I do. The Two of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, the Temperance card, and the Three of Pentacles. So I get the feeling that you have some opportunities and options that comes from this realization, that comes from this ending of a way, at least a way of dealing with people in general or with situations. Some of you may have been very optimistic about a certain situation, and you're trying to keep that alive. You're trying to keep that going. But I feel like there's something here about acceptance, because this summer is a new chapter. The Sun card, the Strength card, both Leo. So we're talking about late June into July, right? Late June. No, this goes up here. Does it? Is it Strength, Sun? No, it's the other way around. Sun up here and then the Strength card. So you're definitely overcoming whatever this realization is. And I'm not saying it'll all just go away. I feel like there's a residue of disappointment about this that can stick around. But the acceptance of this in and of itself is a shift, is a healing, is a spiritual cleansing. The acceptance that, well, I don't think I saw this clearly. I feel like I was lying to myself at the very least. And I'm willing now to see it for what it is and move on. I don't have to fight with this person to be the person I hoped they would be. I don't need to try to jam this career into the paradigm of what I really want. It's not working. And there's something so freeing in saying that to yourself. This isn't working for me. And instead of abandoning yourself and saying it's your fault, you can take responsibility where it's due and say, I think I'd be a whole lot better off if I just accepted the situation for what it is. And you kind of move out of alignment then. You're not in this kind of death match with the other person or with the career or anything like that. You're kind of just like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. And I do feel like there's some sadness here. I like this because by saying I'm good and not turning it around on yourself as if you're such an awful person for even entertaining this person in your life, or how could I have mistaken it, and just beat yourself up about it. Before you do that, I want you to look at that Queen of Pentacles and be like, how can I have compassion for myself? How can I have compassion for myself? And how can I ask for help and protection going forward? I do want love in my life. For some of you, this is a love relationship that you finally accepted that the person is not the person you thought they were. Finally accepted that. There is love on the other side of this, because there was something about that needing to learn that lesson. With Jupiter in Taurus, and Taurus is ruled by Venus. So there's something about learning a lesson around love, learning a lesson around what feels like love to us, and then looking at that, kind of turning it around for yourself, be like, But is that really what love should feel like? Should I feel, just because my partner has a lot of anger issues, a lot of pent up or suppressed shame or whatever it is, like I don't need to take it. Tower, I don't need to take it. Nine of Pentacles, Two of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, and Justice. Oh, yes, indeed. So I just feel like you kind of need to let it blow up or not hold on anymore to this idea, this fantasy, this expectation of another person that they can live up to who you think they are, and instead be who they are. And that might blow them out of your life. Okay. But keeping them in your life in a false narrative isn't actually helping either. Okay. It isn't actually getting you anywhere. And I feel like this was a lesson for somebody. I'm talking to somebody specific, that this was a lesson to see somebody very clearly, very clearly. And then there's this Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, and that Wheel of Fortune there. Eight of Wands, Chariot, King of Swords, Five of Swords, Two of Wands, and Six of Pentacles. So I feel like you are going to be moving forward. It's possible that this person that you're dealing with may come clean with their intention. Okay, may come clean with their intention. Like if you are wanting a romantic relationship with somebody and they have been, I don't know, kind of sitting on the fence, but like giving you a little breadcrumby, right? Like giving you enough to think that it's a possibility. I feel like they could say, like you could say what you think is the truth now. Like, I don't think you really want a romantic relationship with me or something like that. And they might admit it. They might say, yeah, I really need your friendship, or I need your help. Or I'd like your help with some kind of project I'm doing or something like that. I feel like, you might have had this intention that this is a romantic relationship, but they may not feel that way. And that may feel pretty devastating when you admit that to yourself. But I also feel like there's room for growth. There's room for, especially both of you getting what you want. But I feel like the longer you sit in this kind of fantasy, I'm going to say that word. I know that seems harsh, but sit in this energy of, okay, I want love and I want it from this particular person, the more you might stay stuck. So instead of doing that, you don't have to banish anybody to the, into the wilderness. What you might want to do is just say to the universe, I'm open to love in my life. And this is how I want to feel. I want to feel that there's mutual respect. I want to feel that there's mutual passion. I want to feel that there's an excitement and a growth orientation in this relationship. I feel like a good relationship for me looks like this, doot, and then define it. And then the other person needs to see the relationship. Another person, theoretical person, needs to see relationship in the way you do. If you guys have the shared definition, it's much more likely to be a success. I feel like there might be somebody here who let you think that they were who you think they are. It's kind of complicated, because they were getting some kind of benefit from it. Your esteem, your attention, something like that. And for you to be like, oh, okay, I get it. I think this person fears a loss of your attention. And so what I'm getting here is this Eight of Wands and the Chariot and the King of Swords. So I do feel like there's a lot of conversation that comes full circle, and this person tells the truth. Now, this Five of Swords, I don't feel like they're being that manipulative. I don't necessarily feel like this person is out to get you or anything, but I do feel like they see the world in a very different way, or they see, options or potentialities in a different way. And I do feel like there's something about resources and helping somebody. Maybe they've been afraid to ask you or afraid to say to you, I'd really like to build this business with you. I don't know that it's romantic in nature, but I'm not willing to, put that out of my mind yet. But, there might be something about that that feels manipulation oriented. Like, okay, they want to do what they want to do, but I'm not going to get what I want. So do I do this or do I not do this? Because I don't want you to think that relationships are just transactional. And I think we talked about that before. That I got to get from you what I want and you've got to get from me what I want, what they want. It's not really that. The needs of both people need to be met, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the other person is in charge of taking care of all of your needs. That's not really true at all. Two of Swords, yeah. Star, Nine of Wands, and the High Priestess. So I think the very, very good, totally upside of this reading is that some things in your life may be coming together. So let's say, Pathfinders, we're working on our intuition, and we have relationships in our lives that we are bound and determined are going to be a certain thing for us. We think this best friend is somebody who has our best interest at heart. We think this person over here is a romantic possibility. We look at our siblings, we look at our parents, whatever it is, and we are now starting to look at them in a much more realistic light. This is Aquarian energy, and it's not emotional in any way. There's no emotion attached to it. And I feel like that's the pattern that's being cleared here, that if you're really working on your intuition, then what happens as a byproduct of that is plain sight. You start to see people more clearly. You start to recognize those things instead of having a veil in front of your eyes. And like, this person, I put them on a pedestal. This person I think is a horrible person. And, I've kind of classified them. I do feel like the intuition lessons are like, have the potential to sort of pull away the veil of how we look at certain things and get, at the very least, let us know what our lens is. Lets us know about that, what our lens is. So I'm going to go deeper into this reading. If this is your reading, I will pull cards for each zodiac sign to give you some advice, and I will see where we go. I do think there's some truth coming out of this person, and let's see what that is too. All right. Link is below if you want to continue on. I'll see you over there, Pathfinders. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.